And we're back, and now today's movie for the movie recommendation is The Beekeeper, featuring Jason Statham as Adam Clay. Now, this movie has been making the rounds, and what really got my attention on this movie was it got 94% on Rotten Tomatoes. 94%. Like, the only content that I'm seeing that reaches 94% on Rotten Tomatoes is content from Korea. The Koreans, they are the guys, when it comes to their series, when it comes to their movies, they're the guys that are bringing out content that's like 94%, and you watch it and you're like, yeah, this is really 94%. It's worth it, because those guys are just spectacular. So that got me curious. So well done, Rotten Tomatoes, for making me curious with that figure. Because of that 94%, I decided to go and watch that movie, right? And I watched the movie. Now, believe it or not, 94% was actually not a ridiculous rating. Okay, this was actually an audience rating. It wasn't the critic rating. I think on the critic rating I got something like 80 something, but 94, it's not ridiculous. It's actually quite fair, a little generous, but not ridiculous. So why is the movie called The Beekeeper? Well, yeah, the guy went through some sort of off-record, cryptic government thing whereby they are called the beekeepers, and they're just these specially trained dudes who are there to fix things when the rules are broken. And his background is a little bit cryptic, because the more cryptic it is, the more mysterious it is, and the more mysterious it is, the more intriguing it is, and the more intriguing it is, the more you get curious to want to know, what's this guy about? It always has that mystery about him, and they did that very well. So he actually takes up beekeeping in his retirement, because he's retired, because somehow, millions of insects with sharp spears coming out of their butt actually calm him down, or the beekeeping aspect of it is part of the program. I don't know, but I don't know what the link is between him being called a beekeeper and him actually doing beekeeping. So it's neither here or there, but it's I'll think of it. So anyway, the story goes like this. During his retirement, he starts working on a farm as a beekeeper, and he develops this mother and son relationship with this lady on the farm, the beautiful Felicia Rashad. You probably remember her from Cosby, the Cosby Show. And she falls victim to cybercrime, and she was in charge of, an account that had $2 million in it and whatnot, and they managed to get to that account, and it gets zeroed out. That leads to another thing, which leads to another thing, which leads to Statham, Adam Clay, going on a revenge streak, going up the corporate ladder as he gets to pay or to revenge the mother that he never had. Because we all know, he says that he was never really taken care of, ever, actually. I mean, one of those mysterious things from the past, yeah? Action-wise, it's pretty much John Wick meets Sisu meets Steven Seagal, because this man is a one-man army, and I kid you not. Oh, by the way, did you know that in a hive, when a queen bee is producing inferior bees, there are actually bees whose purpose would be to kill that or unalive that queen and get a new queen in, so that she produces proper offspring, which now ties into the beekeeping and, him being a beekeeper. Yeah, there's the tie-in, because in this whole thing, he's moving up the corporate ladder and he's just getting rid of the rot by himself. Action-wise, it does not disappoint, although there were glaring strategic loopholes where the CIA and the FBI agents were concerned, and there was a huge conflict of interest that these people decided not to focus on. But, and there's also that whole thing where people are firing fully automatic weapons, and like, you got 15, 16 people aiming at one target. No one hits anything. No one hits him or anything like that. But I forgave this simply because of the captivating revenge plot that this movie was based on. The premise of the whole movie, for me, because we all have loved ones that had, that have been scammed or taken for granted, or, people just don't know how to use their computers and they think they're getting help. Meanwhile, somebody's hacking into their machines. we all have, those mothers that are techno retards. I hope my mom is not watching this, but get what I'm saying, right? So that was captivating enough for me to overlook a lot of these plot holes. Besides, it's an action movie. They're gonna need to, make the guy look invincible in some way, shape, or form. But in real life, one bullet and that dude is gone, truth be told. And yeah, Jason Statham was simply in his element. I loved him in this role. He was perfect. This was an example. Sorry about that, guys. Camera did its thing again. Anyway, so where were we? I was talking about Jason Statham and how I loved him in this role. If you've ever seen Jason Statham in a deadpan role, this was his deadpanest of roles. In fact, Jason Statham should just be, he should just be a typecast actor. In fact, he is. Whereby he just acts in these deadpan roles where he's just this vigorous, staunch brute, and he's just serious most of the time. I mean, he's like that in the what's it called? The Disposables. What's that Sylvester Stallone movie called? Disposables. What's it called? Expendables. Yeah. He was like that in the Expendables. He was like that in all the Transporter movies. He was like that in Fast and the Furious franchise. He was like that in Hobbs and Shaw. That's Jason Statham. But this role, I think it was a way more serious role because it wasn't too over the top. It was well anchored. And it was the example of perfect casting in as far as casting is concerned. Not like Kevin Hart in the movie Lift,